All right, what to wear?
I want to pause right there for a second because I am recalling the episode we did, I believe, last week with Ebony, an SLP, and she brought up one quick little comment about interviewing, and I really liked it, and I had never heard of it. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but she said to ask a company when you're interviewing to actually ask them a question about challenges that they've faced as an organization or a difficulty in their organization, which I thought I had never heard that before. And I thought that was so interesting to make
Yeah.
sure that the company is a good fit for you. That would be a style of question that you could ask in the interview. Have you had any experience with that?
No, but I love that. I have like a list of questions that I always ask companies, but that's a really good one and very powerful to see how they answer it, see how they respond. I love that.
Yes, well, because this was more about company culture and do your values line up with the company culture? So she was, recommending that you can ask that question about how they handle challenges in the
Yeah.
workplace. And I thought, wow, that's so great. I actually never even thought to do that. As an employer, I've never been asked that question in an interview. So I wanted to just bring that to light because it was very
No,
interesting.
I think that's a great question. And definitely one, if you're watching this, write that one down. That is a really good question for sure. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So what to wear? Stick with solid colors. No like bright patterns. Stick with like blues, greens, browns, blacks, whites. Like just stick to like very neutral colors. I can't remember if I was telling you guys this, but colors are associated with different emotions. So
Yes.
when you come in with like a hot pink vest, and if that's your personality, great, but maybe just for an interview, tone it down just a smidge.
But we're 80s babies. I mean, we love the hot pink. Well, I'm an 80s baby. I don't know about you.
Yeah. So stick with solid colors, nothing too bright. You want to be respectful of, the person's work environment too. Like make sure that if, don't come in like scrubs or anything like that, like just very professional. I personally like a heel. And the reason why is because there's actually studies that show that people who are taller or like, you don't have, I mean, if you're like 5'2" and you wear heels, it's not, you're still taller. Don't worry. Because I have girls who are like, I'm only 5'2" and I wear heels. I'm only 5'6". This is not going to help. No, just I'm saying the taller that you look, for some reason, people respect you more. There's a few studies that came out about this, and I was like, that's really interesting. And I just, so I'm a big component of if you feel comfortable wearing heels, wear them. No rips, tears, and make sure everything is clean. People always ask me like, would I have this little like rip in my jeans? I'm like, would avoid it just personally. And these are just my little things. Like these are all very personal preferences, and you're obviously welcome to wear whatever you want to an interview. I just feel like these are just some little tips that you guys can take away from this of what to wear.
Yes, these sounds like the professional tips.
Yeah,
Be very
professional.
professional. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously we work in an environment where it's more like we'll be playing on the ground with kids and, we'll be doing that. So obviously your attire is going to change when you start working in the setting. But for the interview, you always want to dress more appropriately, not even more appropriately, more professionally, more business attire. So
Dress to impress. It's the rhyme to remember. Dress to impress.
exactly. So before I let you guys kind of go, I just want to talk a little bit about interview prep with me because it's a really powerful 45-minute conversation. So basically we have 2 interview prep coaches, me being one of them, and it's 45 minutes and we go through how to prepare for an interview. We address all your concerns, what to expect from an interview process. We interview you to see how you respond to interview questions, give you real honest feedback. So if you are looking for I'm here to pump you up, but I'm also here to be honest with you and tell you, okay, here's what you need to do different, or this was really good. I really love that you said this. That's what I love to do. I am your cheerleader and I will teach you all the ways to go into that interview with confidence. So if you are interested, schedule your session using the pink link below. Everything in the PowerPoint that's pink is a link. It'll take you to the page, but I'm excited to meet a lot of you and do some interview prep. Here is how to find me if you are interested. There's a lot of great freebies on Instagram, so check that out.
I love that. And I just think it's so fascinating, so wonderful now how there are so many resources available, so many SLPs that are doing what you're doing, that have their own businesses or businesses on the side that are really geared towards supporting clinicians as they're coming out of the field and they're growing. And it's, hey, we've got these resources here, utilize them, we can support you. I mean, it's so different than when I came out of the
Oh,
field in 2006. I mean, I didn't have access to any of these things. And I would have scooped up this mock interview with you and all of these things that you have. And I would have put colors to my resume. In fact, I just
yeah.
got a resume last week that had soft green in it. And it was after you and I had talked. And I thought, I wonder
Yeah.
if they were on this series because I had never gotten a resume before with a soft color in it. But all of the things that we have access to now are just so incredible. They're just such gifts to speech clinicians everywhere. And it's not just for, yes, this is geared towards CFs, but this could really be for anybody that's already
Oh,
in the field that didn't know these things,
for sure.
that is going for a new job or is transitioning to a different career placement, maybe from a nursing home to a school-based setting. I mean, we move around all the time as
Yes.
speech
Yeah.
clinicians. So it's so wonderful what you're doing. And thank you so much for all that you're bringing to the table.
Of course, I really appreciate you guys having me today. And I hope you guys, whoever is watching, learned something really interesting about interviewing. And I wish everybody all the best on their journeys. So, yes. So, well, thank
Thank you. And thank you, Demi, for coming back. We loved having you here twice in
you.
our roadmap series. And before I let everybody go, I have to just sprinkle a little bit of mindfulness into our conversation for the last few minutes. Just remember, you can bring mindfulness into anything that you're doing, just that present moment awareness, but especially to the interview process. I wanted to just share some tidbits on some ways we can do that. And I think you touched on some of these too, Demi. I think sometimes we overlap, but
Right.
just remember, connect to your breath. If you are feeling nervous, take a few deep breaths, or you can do some breathing strategies, because this really does calm down your nervous system. And there is science and lots of research to support that. So consider some breath practices before you go into your interview or before you're practicing with Demi. If you see thoughts coming up in the process, maybe some self-judgment thoughts or worry thoughts or planning thoughts, notice those thoughts. You don't have to run away with them. Just see them for what they are. Maybe softly label, okay, this is a judgment thought or this is a worry thought. And now I'm going to just let it go. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with the thought. When we kind of touched on your emotion state and all the different emotions that can come with the interview process. So just remember, it's part of humanity to feel emotions. You're human. You might get nervous. You might get scared. You might be excited. All of these things are going to happen. But if one of those emotions is sticking around a little too long, and like Demi said, if you're hanging on to nervousness or you're, putting a spotlight on it, then you might present yourself that way. So just remember, whatever you're feeling, recognize it, allow it to be there, but then process it. And when you're ready to move on and focus on the positive. Stay positive. Like she said, use positive self-talk, positive affirmations. I got this. I am confident. I am worthy. I can do this. And let go of any limiting beliefs that you might have. So again, that kind of goes with the manifesting that Demi was talking about, that anything is possible. You've gotten this far on your journey already, and just look at how much further you are going to go in your life. We can also detach. And what I mean by detach is maybe letting go of certain expectations. I expected the interview to go this way, and now maybe it didn't, and I'm feeling upset. So let go of any expectations and just allow things to be as they are. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Making mistakes is a growing moment. It's an opportunity to learn something new. Acknowledge, like we said, that you might not have all the answers, and that is okay. And as Demi said, you can say, I don't know this, but I actually wanted to research this, or I'm actually going to look this up, so that you can share and be completely transparent. And lastly, I had one of the same remarks that Demi was sharing today. We're on the same page, and that's visualization. And just imagine things that make you happy. And we can focus on those things that bring us joy. And when we do, we can allow that positive energy to move through us. And then when we sit down for that interview, maybe that energy will come across to everybody else that is sitting there with us. So these are just some mindfulness tidbits. If you like these, I have a few of these and more in the handout for speechtherapypd.com. You can go ahead and download that. We will see you back here again next week as we are on the next step of our journey as SLPs to be are moving from graduation to the big moment of CF and their first job. And we're so excited to be able to be a part of your journey. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you, Demi. Take care.
Bye-bye.